Hey beautiful soul, and welcome to the Libertia Sacred Premiere. Where to even begin and start? Well, first and foremost, my name is Kathryn Jayne. I am a Perth-based installation and performance artist. When I was preparing for this Sacred Premiere, what actually dropped through was that I am a Earth-based installation and performance artist. And I think that is very much because I love traveling the world. I love traveling to sacred sites, to sites of pilgrimage, to collect these energetic remembrances, these keys, these codes, these activations and initiations. And my artistic practice, I love to weave with these codes, these symbols, these remembrances. As a performance artist and installation artist, I use typically my vessel, my physical body, as the meaning maker, as the instrument, the paintbrush, the clay to sculpt, to narrate, to weave with intention these keys of remembrance, these ideas, motifs, and these values that are really important to me and my practice. Usually I record these pieces, I weave them together digitally somehow, and then I install them into these sacred spaces, these curated spaces, gallery spaces, or perhaps mundane spaces to create these tomb-like installations that offer audience members a place of pause, of contemplation, of witnessing, of reflection, so that they are able to undergo their own journey, undergo their own initiation, activation into what it is that I have been initiated into. My practice is very much centered around the soul's journey inwards, the soul's journey of uncovering not only their soul's purpose, but also what it is to be human, this thing called the human experience, because we're all here to experience what that is, to experience the full spectrum of emotions, of things. In my practice, I explore how not only the physical body or the physical vessel, but also how objects and places hold and store these energetic echoes, these remembrances, these traumas or densities, and also how they hold light. My installation works paired with my performance pieces are transitory places. They are void spaces, they are sanctuaries, thresholds, tombs for audiences to investigate, to lead with curiosity, to uncover, to unpack and explore. As an emerging curator, I am very passionate about creating and curating spaces that afford audience members a breathing space, a space to just sit and be present, to sit and be held, to be supported, to be witnessed, to allow whatever is present for them to be felt, to be moved through, and to be let go and released, most importantly. But the main event, Libertia, my most recent work, my most recent creation, as much as I want to say this work has been unfolding for the last 6 months, and the filming process of this work did start 6 months ago, but the soul's work, the remembrance, the understanding, the integration began 25 years ago. The first component of this work is a wider shot filmed back in January of a person who I was, a person who we all are, a person seeking this idea of sanctuary, seeking this idea of freedom and liberty that is outside of ourselves. This idea that the more we run, the more we chase, the more we move, we will find what it is that we're looking for. We will find that destination. And I have very much done this for the vast majority of my life. I've always sought sanctuary outside of myself as a distant place that I am forever running towards but can't quite reach, can't quite grab. But in letting this work sit, letting this work integrate, letting these ideas manifest, as you will, I came to understand and came to realize that this idea of sanctuary, this idea of freedom, of liberty, doesn't exist outside of ourselves. It is something that is remembered. It's not something that is found externally of ourselves. When we remember this idea of inner sanctuary, of inner union, of devotion, of pause, that is sanctuary. In recent life events, I was called and asked to pause, to stand still, much to my dismay, much to my resistance. But it was in that moment of pause, of peace, that everything dropped into place, that I liberated myself, that I found Libertia. In this society, we are constantly driven by this idea of perpetual motion, of this never stopping wheel that is forever turning. And Libertia asks us, what if in pause, in presence, we liberated ourselves? That is the question I kept returning to time and time again in this moment of pause and peace for myself, but also within this artwork as well, within this piece. And this idea that retreat is not defeat, that softness is not weakness, and that sensitivity is our greatest strength. That pausing is not passive at all, but is truly so radical. What if your peace could speak louder than words? What if your pause could move mountains? Presence is not a luxury. Peace is not a luxury. It is our birthright. Choosing to feel the vast spectrum of emotions, all that it is to be human, is what makes us whole. For we are always whole, but when we truly allow ourselves to lean in, to feel everything and return to peace and pause, that is sanctuary. In the ecosystem of empathy, we are being asked to not project, to not lash out, to not turn into anger and frustration that is outward. But we are called to turn inwards, to see what it is within ourselves that frustrates us, to see what it is within ourselves that grieves us, that creates dis-ease within us. We're being called to tend to our wounds like we would our gardens, to alchemize density with devotion, to allow the decay of the past to provide nutrients for our future. Set in a white liminal space, this work encapsulates the body and the soul in their own pas de deux, in this coming together, in this sacred union, finding alignment, finding this remembrance of peace, of pause. This alignment is found through touch, through movement, through surrender, and the white flag becomes a symbol of peace, of surrender. Unfolding in the digital realm, this work offers a reclamation of your peace, of your presence, a space of pause. This work is a visual act of remembrance, an invitation to always find the sanctuary within. This work, as mentioned, has been a huge part of my day-to-day, has been an incredible journey of unpacking and unfolding, of remembrance, and also of surrender. I have so much gratitude for the support system I have in my life as I've been unpacking and unfolding these ideas of peace and pause and sanctuary. Thank you so much to my inner network, my family, my friends, for supporting me along this weird and wonderful journey. Thank you so much to my mentors, both past, present, and I'm sure future. Thank you so much to all of my past lecturers and so many of my artistic influencers and colleagues. Thank you also for taking the time to watch this video in length, for taking time to find inner sanctuary, pause and presence. And I hope that this work and all of my works offer a moment of reflection, of contemplation, a moment of devotion to self, a gift to self. And know that you may return to this work as many times as you like, as many times as you feel called to, as many times as you need, for as much as this work has been a deep uncovering, a deep unfolding for myself and my own journey. It is not only a gift and greatest devotion to myself, but this is also a gift for you. This is a devotion for you. And also I ask, if you feel moved by this work, if you feel its potency, its resonance, I invite you to share this work. I invite you to gift it to anyone you feel cold, needs presence and pause, anyone looking for their own liberty, their own libertia, that sanctuary within. May this forever be your remembrance and your reminder that sanctuary is within, liberty lies within, freedom lies within, deep love and deep gratitude.